A stunning revelation in the courtroom left Diddy visibly rattled. His attorney was caught completely off guard by the unexpected footage that would alter the course of everything. The room fell into stunned silence as the judge struggled to absorb the prosecution's words. In that instant, Diddy's face drained of color. His legal team scrambled, whispering urgently amongst themselves, but it was too late to change the tide. When the prosecution revealed video evidence featuring a teenage Justin Bieber, the atmosphere in the room shifted dramatically.
Started with something that Diddy and his lawyers knew was coming down the pike eventually, and now it has happened. A new indictment, it's called a superseding indictment. It really replaces the original one that the federal prosecutors had filed against him. And the big headline here is that now they are saying there are 2 more.
This wasn't just another lawsuit or accusation. It was something entirely different. For the first time, the man who had built an empire on confidence, power, and an air of invincibility appeared genuinely shaken.
John Diddy Combs reportedly underwent treatment in a hospital as he continues to await trial on sex trafficking charges. According to Page 6, the 55-year-old was transported from Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, the federal prison where he was sent following his September arrest, late January 30th to undergo an MRI and was then soon returned to police custody later that.
But let's rewind for a moment, because to grasp why this moment was so catastrophic, you need to understand the tangled web of chaos that led to it. Sean Diddy Combs, once the undisputed king of hip-hop, now finds himself battling not just for his legacy, but for his freedom, and perhaps the very empire he built. Multiple lawsuits, federal charges, everything he's worked for is at stake.
Let's talk about the fact that Combs' co-defendant in a civil case, a case, by the way, that accuses him and this co-defendant, another A-lister, of rape. This guy is once again slamming the attorney behind the case, insisting that he be sanctioned for allegedly not doing his job. We're talking, of course, about Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z, once again calling out attorney Tony Busby, calling out his character, more specifically into question, claiming that the Texas attorney's filings have, quote, substantial inaccuracies and that there was a failure to properly investigate before filing. Now, we've talked about this before, but basically, a civil lawsuit was filed against Sean Combs on behalf of a Jane Doe who says that she was raped by Combs and another celebrity at a home after the Video Music Awards in 2000. She says she was just 13 years old when this happened. And weeks after the initial filing, Busby submitted an amended complaint naming Jay-Z as the celebrity who allegedly participated in this.
Whispers have surfaced of a lifestyle so dark, so predatory, that even Diddy's closest allies are distancing themselves at an unprecedented pace. And right at the heart of it all, Justin Bieber.
Flames. Anyways, I want to also just show you this montage. This is a montage that was shared by Evie Magazine. They do great work on their TikTok of Justin Bieber, again, just 15 years old, in Hollywood, surrounded by a bunch of adults. And you let me know if any of this registers to you as normal. Take a listen.
Wow! I feel violated right now. Wow.
Just lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was banned.
Yeah.
Wow, look at your eyes. Yeah, look at what a beautiful face.
For years, there had been speculation about Diddy's strange influence over the young pop star. But after Diddy's arrest in September, fans began to connect the dots. Why was Bieber always by his side as a child? Why did Diddy talk about their time together like it was some kind of secret rite of passage? Then resurfaced footage stirred the pot. A clip from 2009 began circulating online. In it, Diddy is seen proudly boasting about spending 48 hours with 15-year-old Bieber. "What we're doing, we can't really disclose," Diddy says with a grin, looking into the camera. But it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. Bieber, sitting beside him, plays along. Let's just go get some girls.
Bieber turned 15, and it suddenly seemed that Hollywood was keen to almost initiate him. I think that's the right word. Like there was almost like this initiation that he needed to go through. So I want you to be now super uncomfortable and watch this video of an interaction between him and none other than Diddy. Take a listen.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
At the time, it seemed like nothing more than a strange, offhand exchange between a powerful music mogul and his young protege. But once the allegations against Diddy erupted, that seemingly innocent clip began to take on a much darker, more sinister tone.
So young Justin Bieber, who was signed by Usher, involved with Scooter Braun, now all of a sudden he's being put in the hands of Diddy, who, it is true, he became the legal guardian for Usher. You can look up all of the allegations of what Diddy did to Usher. A lot of this coming out via multiple lawsuits that essentially, if we were to put it in a nice context, or at least use a euphemism for something that's really disgusting, the allegations are essentially that Diddy very much initiated Usher into Hollywood. And as we are going through these lawsuits and Diddy is in prison, we are recognizing that everybody knew. This was an open secret about what Diddy was doing. So it just begs the question, who allowed Justin Bieber to be in the presence of this man knowing what he was up to? Allegedly up to. That seems to be very clear, that there is some veracity to those.
And then the unthinkable happened. Inside the courtroom, an attorney for the prosecution presented a video, an explosive piece of evidence so crucial that Diddy's legal team immediately objected. But it was too late. The judge overruled the objection and allowed the footage to be shown.
The defense wanted copies of these videos handed over to them, not just the ability to view them at like the prosecution's office. They wanted copies of these videos for themselves. And I've talked to lawyers about this before. There's a big advantage to having the electronic video, the electronic evidence yourself, right? You don't have to always go over to the other office. You can view the materials on your own. It's a way to better prepare for your defense. And Sean Combs' lawyers argued that under the federal rules of criminal procedure, if the defendant asks for it, the government has to give a defendant the opportunity to inspect and to copy electronic data that is in the government's possession. Judge Subramanian denied the defense's motion to amend the protective order, but without prejudice, meaning this issue could be revisited. So Subramanian's order reads, quote, "While the government objects to handing the videos over, they provide several options for a defendant to consider that would permit the defense to view the videos, access the information they're looking for, and even allow them to manipulate the videos as they see fit."
For years, Bieber has skillfully avoided questions about his early career, his mentors, and the powerful figures in the industry who helped shape him. But ever since Diddy's legal troubles began, Bieber has quietly started making moves that strongly suggest he's distancing himself from his past.
Justin Bieber's got more on his mind than Diddy's arrest. A source telling ET the new dad's energy is going towards wife Haley and son Jack. And he's not focused on what is going on with Diddy or the allegations against him.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs.
The insider info coming after footage of Diddy and Justin resurfaced on social media. Videos show the disgraced media mogul alongside teenage Justin, with online sleuths speculating if, at the time, he subjected the pop star to his alleged freak.
First, he unfollowed Usher. It might seem like a small gesture, but given that Usher was the one who introduced him to Diddy, it certainly raised some eyebrows. Then he severed ties with Scooter Braun, his longtime manager, the very person who was supposed to guide and protect him in the industry.
Okay, Justin was signed when he was just 13 years old, and I should mention he was signed by Usher to a label that was owned jointly by both Scooter Braun and Usher, and he was considered Usher's protege. He has been described Usher as his mentor. The Bieber, Justin Bieber, is continuing the purge. He has now moved to unfollow Usher, okay, his original mentor. So this is a very big story. And the reason why we should discuss this and we should not diminish what is happening, it's not celebrity drama. This is actually the fall of Babylon that we are witnessing, Hollywood Babylon, that is.
Then came the resurfaced interviews. Bieber speaking candidly about the struggles of being young in Hollywood, the people who let him down, and the trauma he's still working through. And that viral moment, the one where Bieber, visibly emotional, talked about wanting to protect young stars like Billie Eilish from the horrors of the industry, suddenly took on a whole new meaning. That clip hit differently now.
He did an interview back in 2020 with Zane Lowe. I think this was on Apple Music. And he was speaking about another young artist that was coming up, Billie Eilish, and Eilish. And he was basically speaking about how he wanted to protect her because she was now another young person, a rising artist in the industry. And sort of out of nowhere, he became quite overcome with emotion. Take a listen.
Did you feel protective of her?
Yeah, I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. So yeah, it's hard because I want her to know that, she can count on me, but at the end of the day, I'm never gonna force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just kind of, let her do her thing, and if she ever needs me, I'm gonna be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters, and
I'm not even kidding. Watching that clip makes me emotional because he is saying so much without really saying anything. Protect Billie Eilish from what? From who? What is he so concerned about when he sees this young person in the industry? What exactly did he go through?
Fans began connecting the dots, and so did the prosecution. Diddy's legal troubles started with a single accusation. An aspiring musician, identified only as John Doe, claimed that Diddy drugged and assaulted him at a 2015 after-party. But that was just the beginning.
Well, disgraced movie mogul Sean Diddy Combs has been slammed with another lawsuit. An unnamed person has accused the music mogul of drugging and assaulting him. As per a lawsuit which was filed in New York, the incident allegedly took place in 2015. Prosecutors and the lawyer representing the alleged victims in the case have been behind a substantial number of suits brought against Combs over the past year, including one that named Jay-Z as an additional defendant. The new lawsuit says that in 2015, the unnamed male person had approached Combs with the aspirations of becoming a rapper and singer. The 23-year-old was scheduled to open for a popular music artist at a series of Los Angeles nightclubs. Prior to his performance, he was informed that Combs would be in attendance, and should the performance go well, Combs would consider signing him to Bad Boy Records. The lawsuit further stated that later that night he attended an after-party where there were other well-known entertainers who were taking in drugs. One of Combs' associates handed him a drink which he later realized was drugged. The unnamed person has further claimed that during his unconscious state, Diddy Combs had engaged in unconsented sexual activities. Meanwhile, in a statement provided to media, Combs' attorneys say, and I'm quoting here, "As we've said before, Mr. Combs cannot respond to every new publicity stunt, even in response to claims that are facially ridiculous."
More allegations followed, and a full-scale investigation revealed a disturbing pattern of abuse, an alleged criminal enterprise involving trafficking, coercion, and a network specifically designed to keep victims silent.
According to the complaint, Jane Doe says that, again, when she was 13 years old in 2000, when her and a friend drove to Radio City Music Hall in New York City, where the Video Music Awards, the VMAs, were being held, She says she didn't have a ticket. So what does she do? She mills about outside. And that's when she says that one of Sean Combs' limo drivers told her to come back later and he would take her to an after party. She claims that she was given a drink at this after party, which she now believes was drugged. She claims she started feeling woozy, went to find somewhere to lay down, and that is when she says she was raped by Jay-Z and Sean Combs.
Prosecutors claim Diddy's infamous freak-offs, his private, drug-fueled parties, were far darker than anyone had ever imagined. Women, men, and even celebrities were allegedly caught in the crossfire, manipulated and exploited under the guise of industry networking.
New details allegedly inside Diddy's world before his shocking arrest. The entertainment mogul now behind bars for federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges.
It was a circus. He did whatever he wanted, and we were just at his disposal.
Phil Pines was Diddy's senior executive assistant from 2019 to 2021. He says his then boss asked him to purchase supplies for parties dubbed Wild King Nights.
We usually had a laundry list of items that included lights, alcohol, marijuana, ketamine, Molly. Those requests started to become more frequent.
Pines claims many of these parties involved younger women.
A lot of times you have him with a younger female. There's a power dynamic there. A more impressionable girl is easier to reel in. Consent is between the people that are engaging, and I wasn't there in these situations to understand the consent.
The new interview, part of Investigation Discovery's docuseries, The Fall of Diddy.
My job is to shield his private life from the public.
Pines even sharing audio he says is of Diddy telling Pines to bring him various substances during those Wild King nights.
Phil, I need some Cialis. Can you give me 20 Xanax, please? Hey, Phil, I need a plan B.
I remember hearing the words, "Prove your loyalty to me, King." He grabbed me by the shoulders, pushed me to a girl that was on the couch.
Bieber was reportedly around for all of it. And now, the question isn't just what he witnessed. It's whether he, too, was a victim. Because if that video is as damning as insiders claim, it could change everything.
The thing. I have kids. I don't even post, and then the Twitter trolls will be, "We're her kids." Well, I'm protecting them, and this is sad. I mean, this is sad. And this one with Bieber.
This is the Bieber one. Yeah.
Where are the parents?
Yeah, and which parent would say, you know what? We don't know you. We know that you're a celebrity. Go and hang out with this guy for weeks on end by yourself. And at what time, at what era is this cool?
In the most critical years, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. How is this, Alina?
They both turn.
How is this normal?
They both turn into superstars.
Yeah,
that's the sacrifice you make.
Yeah, well, that's the sacrifice. But one of them had to go to church.
This is just the beginning. More witnesses, more evidence, and further unraveling of the empire Diddy built on intimidation and secrecy are sure to come to light.